This video shows us how to add tints of color to our Ted Harrison landscapes. A tint is when you use white and a color. You may use all the colors or at least two colors, including their tint. A little reminder when you're painting, make sure your brush is dry because that's going to make sure that your paint isn't watered down at all. You want it to be very bold and bright. Get a little bit of paint on your brush, and when you're painting, if you're trying to paint inside of a larger area, you can press down to make a wider line with your brush. And if you're painting inside of a smaller area, if you're trying to get into an area such as this, like by a sun, then you just use the very tippy top of your brush without using very much pressure. Do your best not to paint on your pastel lines. You can always go back and fix them later when your project's dry. Really take your time and paint in all the areas of your project. For most efficient use of your time, I suggest using the colors that are unmixed in your egg carton and painting in the sections you would like with those first, and then starting to add tints. So that way you're not constantly switching colors. When you're ready to start making tints of color, you'll need a small palette with only one of the areas filled with white. You can always go get more later if you need to, but let's not waste paint. So start with just one, and then you decide on the color that you want to create the tint with, and I would add it in a separate area so that you can keep your white paint kind of clean for other colors that you may decide you want to mix with it. So rinse your brush and dry it really well every single time that you're reaching into the egg carton paint. This will prevent mixing for your table mates. Get a little bit of white and decide how much white you want to add in there. Every time you add white, it will get lighter and lighter and lighter. So start with a very, very tiny amount and gradually add more until you like the appearance. If you over add white, it's going to immediately turn extremely light, so you don't want to do that. So just the tiniest amount. And the same thing goes for this application of paint. If you're working with a wider area, you can push down a little bit more. And if you're working with a skinnier area, you're just going to use the tippy top of your brush. So go ahead and continue this process for your whole project. Every time that you're switching tints, remember to rinse your brush very, very well, and you can select from any of these colors. Just keep them nice and clean. If you're feeling a bit adventurous and you want to create your own colors, that is okay. Just make sure that you're not making muddy colors. So any of the colors that are near each other in your paint set are okay, or you can refer to the color wheel. So anything that's near each other is safe to mix. So I put a little magenta in the orange that I had there, my orange tint, and I'm gonna actually add a little more white to it, and it will come out as a sort of a peachy pink color. So this is just one example of how you could mix a color. And then paint in the sections you would like, and then switch.